I've got the recording going. So, a few weeks back when we played, you guys had been separated forcefully in the maze of Fathagn by the kind of like briary plants. And after some doozy shit with some doppelgangers in a mirror cave, you guys followed a kind of crackling beam of electricity to Yip, who had found the center of the maze and also experienced quite a bit of wild shit himself. You guys went into the center of the maze where there was a temple, the Sacratorum, the original headquarters of the Order of the Lycan. And inside, you found it kind of destroyed and dilapidated, and you found the remains of several members of the Order of the Lycan, as well as the remains of soldiers of the Court of Summers, or a very ancient form of the Court of Summers, at least. All of which seem to have died in a battle and then had been left here in this temple. Eventually, though, you guys did find the heart of the temple, where Belior faced off against the wolf spirit which resides in him. Although it did get a chance to unleash some sort of red fog on you guys that caused you all to attack each other. But with that dealt with, Belior cleansed the heart of the Sacratorum, and you guys left to find that the maze had rearranged itself to present a clear pathway for you guys to depart. We start tonight, though, as a weary figure trudges along a barely familiar road. Although to call it a road is perhaps not the right word. Honestly, to call where he's at a place doesn't feel right. With a heavy heart and limbs filled as if filled with lead, Thunden trudges along. Thunden, ahead of you, you can see that there are two figures, two almost shapeless energies that radiate near each other. You can sense that they are kind of interacting with each other. You feel a familiarity from one that is represented by an aura of bright light, but the second one, a aura of almost a silver mist you've never seen before. As you trudge towards them, the silver mist scatters and seems to disintegrate in the air, leaving just the bright light. And finally, arriving before it, the light takes shape into the god Gundavar. Light, your master. Ah, Thunden. You feel your knees begin to wobble as you collapse before him, bowing before this bright figure.
Oh, good. You've learned to prostrate yourself before me. Well, enough with the ceremony. I suppose, since you have destroyed the vessel, you have the ring. Proceed. I will take it now.
Great. The ring. Of course, perhaps,
You see his
you
eyes
could,
flash with emotion.
Do not think to toy with me, my son.
Oh, no, toy, perish the thought, good father. I, simply just, I know I have it on me somewhere. And he's just gonna start patting himself down and, like, reaching into pockets and...
Light kind of sighs, and then shakes his head, almost like a disappointed grandfather, reacting to a child who's spilled, food all over the kitchen.
Oh, my child, this does pain me. If only you knew the pain that it gives me, your failure. Perhaps I will share some of it with you, if only for you to understand.
As you look into his eyes, the light begins to intensify. You feel at first a burning sensation. It's like heat radiating off of him. You can feel your skin baking as if the sun is just shining down on you. But then it intensifies. The light blinds you. It begins to become so bright you can feel your eyes burning out. Every cell of your body torn apart by this light, this energy, this aura, this omnipresent force. You are nothing. You have been disintegrated, just rendered into atoms, into less than nothing in the air. Finally, after what seems like an eternity, or maybe just a couple of seconds, you can't tell, you fall to your knees, gasping for air, sweat pouring off of your face.
Can you see now the pain that I suffer from your failures, my child?
You feel a soft, warm hand laid down on your shoulder, as you can see just the hem of this golden robe that Light wears as he kneels down on the floor with you.
It's just gonna be like... Hey! Oh. Like, instead of having a smart response that, like, he would normally have, he's just kind of, like, staring at the ground, trying to, like, gather what resolve he might have left.
Finally, you feel a finger on your chin kind of push your head up to look the god in the eye. Although, I don't know if you actually want to look him in the eye after what just happened. But
He will.
you see not this horrible, omnipresent figure that you saw before. You see a weary old man. He could be anyone's grandpa, really. Wispy, long beard, long hair, although not long like a vagabond. Long and clean and combed through. You can see jewelry braided into it. There is a kind of regal sense to him as he looks you in the eye. But still behind it, in his eyes, you can sense this flickering force, this all-knowing power.
He's gonna wince and look away a little bit.
I must explain to you. Your mission is incredibly important, young one. I understand that in a past life they were your friends, but there is so much importance among them. The vessel must not be allowed to reach Argol's rift. I will claim the ring, or rather you will, in my stead. You see, unfortunately, I have made an agreement that I will not personally interfere. That's what you are for. Once again, I need you to kill the vessel. I would have preferred you have done it while he was in Tempest's visions. But I believe that time has passed. I think Tempest will offer him no more guidance. We will have to wait, since Boreal is technically not my domain. But there is another thing that you can do. It will still involve waiting. Don't worry, I will make the time pass oh so quickly, as payment for your good work on the previous job. However, I need one of the splinters of nature. Another one who travels in the company of the vessel. This will make it quite easy for you. 2 birds and 1 stone. You know her as the Knight of Sabrel, Atia, something like that. Either way, you need not take anything from her. Simply slay her, and I will do the rest. But the vessel, we will need the ring. We will need the ring.
Meanwhile, far away, the party emerges from the maze of Fathagn. As you guys trudge out, you can see that it's still dark. It'll probably be dark for a few more days, and it is pretty overcast. And there seems to be a light drizzle that was not really reaching you so much while you were inside of the maze. But now that you've come out, like once you start getting towards the outskirts of the maze, the canopy overhead has begun to thin out, and like little droplets of rain begin to kind of cascade down onto your heads, forming puddles on the along the path that you guys are walking along. But yeah, you guys have arrived at the edge of the maze.
As we come through, Grin's gonna look around and be like, did anyone else just get an ominous feeling of dread? Just for like a second there? Anyone else?
That's like my every waking moment, though.
That is both depressing
I
and,
did get it.
well, just depressing.
Weird kind
I'm
of
sure it's
sinking
nothing.
feeling
I
in
think
your
it's
chest,
just-
Grin?
Hmm?
Like a weird sinking feeling in your chest, right, Grin?
Yeah. I'm sure it's
Yeah, I
nothing.
feel that
We're
too.
perfectly fine.
I'm sure
Probably
it's
just
fine.
the maze.
Honestly, as you guys do reach kind of the edge, you are actually feeling a little bit better. Stepping around, the air feels fresher. You feel a little bit less claustrophobic as you guys emerge. The sound of bird song has returned, and you guys are greeted with the city of Werebatten, kind of down the hill from you, with Broken Stone Keep kind of glimmering at its center.
Right, so... What's the plan now, Bellior? Bellior?
Oh, right. We
yeah.
head back up to the fortress, and we talked to the lady. She said that she had answers for me.
Cool.
Although the answers I want is why the fuck your queen, he points at you, Atya, killed my people. I feel like that's something Bellior would say.
Oh, yeah. No.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That
probably
seems accurate,
nicer
yeah.
than how he would put it.
Listen, my queen had to kill a lot of people, so I'm sure. She had her reasons. It's all to maintain the peace and the balance.
Pretty sure genocide doesn't keep peace and balance.
Very easy to make light of things and say they're just when it's for peace and balance, when it's not your people being slaughtered.
I suppose what Torum is doing is for peace and balance too.
I
It's
don't
completely different. My queen is not as bad as Tora.
really.
She's
Didn't
she's
we go
right.
into a
She's
city
right.
of like people that were in like a bunch of mutated people in the freaking underground city where we learned that Sabrel basically caused an entire plague that almost destroyed an entire planet?
See, she's right. She's worse.
Yeah.
Well, she told me herself. That's why
Oh, I
we need to go to this place.
Okay. Oh, if she
Alright.
says so herself, then I completely believe her. And
Right.
not.
He wants to protect our world and your world, yet use our people as sheeps to the slaughter to do so. When was the last time your people were
Is
forced
she?
to make recompense in order for the good of all?
I fight her battles. I am her knight, and I am from this world. And she doesn't fear sending me in or losing me in
To
battle,
do
even
her
though I am
bidding
one
and
of
slaughter
her
people in
own.
I
our
mean, from
world.
what I can gather, I don't think a lot of people like her. Because when we were in that city with all the hunting people, that one guy really seemed like he didn't like Sabral.
You don't know her, Crane, okay? She's amazing, and everything she
I've
does
known what
is
she has
she.
done.
She has every right to do anything she wants because she knows it all.
Okay, Atya, just as a friend, I am going to be super open and clear right now. This is talk of indoctrination.
You
You
serve a
have been
tyrant?
brainwashed from birth to believe in this one person. This is basically not even basically, this is a cult.
You
You
serve a
are in a cult.
you
Well,
serve a
what?
We are here to
misanthropic
help you,
tyrant.
but you need to help yourself first and understand that this is brainwashing and you're in a cult.
How could it be brainwashing when I've seen all the good she's done in the world?
What
Can you
good?
give us an
We
example?
just saw a city under the city underground with, all the messed up people. She literally admitted to the whole Darakul plague thing. She admitted it.
Plus, I don't even think people in this world like her that much. We've met many
Yeah.
people who don't. So, which world is she trying to save?
What she's trying to do is maintain her own power.
Trying to use our world as fodder to keep her world how she likes.
You guys are wrong. You don't know what you're talking about.
Provide any instance in which she hasn't used our world in her benefit. What has our realm perpetrated against your realm in order for the good of our continentation? Whereas we have a plethora of examples of how Sabrel and your realm have viciously used us as cattle, basically, to uphold your own ends and desires and needs.
I don't
Exactly.
know what you're talking about.
I think the problem is we all know too well what we're talking about. We all saw the ruins. We all saw the depictions. We all
At
heard
this point,
the
I'm
same
just going to agree
things.
with Yip. Fuck both parties. We just take them all out.
I agree. Fuck Torum.
I guess you
Fuck
can see
Sabrel.
what you want to see, and you want to see her as the bad guy in your picture, in your story, and that's okay. She can take it. She's strong, and it's okay
I
if
think
people
we've
don't
all
like her all
openly
the
said
time.
that everybody's the bad guy. It's not like
Yeah.
really hard to find
I
a
mean,
bad guy in this.
honestly,
It's
at
just
this point,
everybody's.
I'm starting to question our own morality here because I think we've done a few
Exactly.
things that are
So,
regrettable.
what makes us better than Sabril then?
Never said
Without the
Committed a
genocide. Let's not
genocide.
continue. Let's
Well,
not
yeah, there's
continue
that.
talking about the genocide.
All right,
Yeah.
my bad. If anyone raise your hand here, if you had a silver for every time you committed genocide, I mean, haven't we all been there? Oh no, we haven't.
It's because we still haven't experienced enough. I'm sure eventually we'll find a way to commit genocide.
If
you
I
look
As
had,
forward
long as
to
it's
it?
for the
Brown,
best
then
of our
okay.
world.
How many
Is
years were
that
you in the how many years were you in the professor's service, Corinne?
Let's see. I was basically taken as I was adopted as a kid, so about 10, a little over 10 years.
You know, you
Yeah,
probably
about
didn't.
10 years.
You probably maybe not a full scale genocide, but you definitely
Oh, yeah.
participated
No,
in some
I've
shit.
I would have been, yeah. Kurt raised his hand after that question then.
so? Kryn is just like,
Yeah.
no.
I mean, if
Maybe
you
a few
count
Not willingly.
coppers. Maybe a few
I'm
coppers.
just assuming I'm assuming it was probably like mind control or some shit that probably forced me to do it. So I'm just gonna, because he seems to be into that type of shit with the meat person. So I'm gonna be like, I mean, yes and no. I was kind of. We don't really have free will when we're working with a professor, so it's more of a, you're gonna do this or bad things, very bad
Sure.
things.
Does our Knight of Sabrel have the same level of autonomy that you had, or Atia, were you able to make decisions of your own accord?
Oh,
great answer.
I don't know. Yeah. You gave me a lot to think about. Sorry, I was looking through my notes and I reformatted my computer recently, so it's taken forever to find them.
Then silence will leave you with this. Maybe you should ponder whether the acts that she had you perform were of your own volition, or perhaps you were like poor Master Kryn here, a victim of circumstance, unable to rightfully control the direction they pursued, ye pursued.
Yeah.
I will think
Anyway,
about it, but yeah.
um, right, this is getting a little too okay, I need to let's see here. I got an instrument. Yeah, let's just start playing some nice calming music. No one has to yell at each other
As
or
you
be mad.
as you guys are walking through the streets of Weremouth, it is actually, even though it's dark, since it stays dark for a few days, it is pretty lively right now. And as you start strumming along in your instrument, Kryn, almost immediately, what do you have? Do you have that instrument of the bards
Well,
or
I
whatever?
still haven't fixed my hurdy-gurdy since a certain asshole person we ran into cut it up. So, yeah, I got my other instrument. The you know what? Yeah, I'll be playing the new instrument. I just get the magic one.
I would say that you can I would let you just for flavor transfer the effects of the magic over to your hurdy-gurdy and fix it when you have your next long
Okay.
rest, okay? Because I know that you wanted Kryn to be the hurdy-gurdy man. But that being said, right now you are using just like the mandolin or whatever the fuck it was. But as you strum
Yeah, I
out a
don't
few notes, somebody you see
yeah.
somebody come up to you. It's like he looks like a wood elf, um, wearing like Edigin style clothing, and he kind of looks between you guys, and then spotting Yip, he hands Yip a gold coin, and he's like, "That's for your bard master. Very good playing." And then he just continues walking along. But there is quite a lot of activity.
Wait,
There's
Bard Master? Am I a master, guys? Holy shit, I'm a master! I need to open up my own tavern.
I think he was the master, Crane, but
Well, Wait, what did he say exactly? I was like happy.
It depends on if you interpreted that there was a comma or not. He either called you a bard master, or he said this is for your bard master, calling Yip a master.
Was there a comma? I yelled to the elf. You know what? Screw it.
Yeah,
I don't care.
He's already walking along. But
I'm a bard master. Ha.
Yip, you do, or not Yip, sorry, Kryn, you do, as you're calling after the guy, you don't see him. He's kind of disappeared into the crowd of people that are walking along the street. But you do see a stand, and you catch a whiff as the wind blows of what they're selling, which you're not sure what it is, but it is deep fried and it smells delicious.
And I'm gone. Yep. You just see this short little guy running towards the fried food. Food. Get up to the stand.
There's a big grizzly-looking dude running the stand. You can tell just by looking at him that he looks like a bear. He is clearly human, but he looks so much like a bear.
Wait, what kind of bear?
Like a grizzly bear. And he is quite large. He's probably about 7 feet tall. He's got like a big apron on, and he's wearing a kind of like loose fitting hat that kind of slacks down over one side. Oi, can I get you something, my friend?
Whatever that delicious smell is.
Oh yes, Werberton's specialty. Hold on. He grabs a stick and plunges it into like a doughy looking ball of something that smells really good. That'll be 2 copper.
I hand him 2 copper.
He hands you your thing on stick. Enjoy it.
Yep. Right. And I realized that I have a mask. I can't eat this in the open. Is there somewhere around this, like an alley somewhere where I can duck behind to eat this thing?
As you're glancing around to see if there's somewhere good to eat this, you spot like an alleyway. And I'm assuming you begin to move towards it, but before you do, you hear a slight cough come from the other direction. Excuse me, my friend. Might you be Krinstock Vindel?
And I turn around.
There is a there is a gnome standing in front of you, about the same height as you are, with kind of stringy blue hair. She's dressed very fine, and her hair is made up meticulously. And her whole outfit seems to be a nice navy blue color. It's sort of like she's got trousers on that with boots that come up to her knees. She's not wearing like a jacket. She does have a nice bow tie on, and you can see the signs of something wrapped around her waist as a belt. But as you inspect her over, you notice a familiar insignia embroidered onto the chest of her shirt, that being the insignia of the Blue Barbers.
Yes? Just holding the fried food.
Perhaps we can talk in the alley. I'm sure you're anxious to eat that. And you'll want to before it gets cold.
Yes.
Did you want to invite your friends?
Wait.
She points towards the group.
Wait. How did you know I was going to go into an alley?
Oh, I figured you wouldn't want to eat with the mask on, or, you know.
Guys!
You guys.
Silence is gonna come over, and as soon as I hear him yell that distressed, guys.
Yeah, same. But he's gonna be
Stranger
like, oh
danger,
no.
stranger danger. I just love the fucking visual here where Kryn is like holding this stick of fried food and it's literally calling for the group like a child.
You guys rush over to see this blue-haired gnome standing before Corinne. She turns with like a big beaming smile on her face, and you guys, see all this stuff about her. You do see the blue barber insignia, which everybody but Silence would recognize. Silence, you have no idea anything about these people.
Oh no, he froze.
Damn it.
Am I still
Are
frozen?
you on the guest internet?
No, but maybe I should be.
I think Chicks is just gonna ask.
Okay, it's like really frozen. Dang. Nothing.
He's still frozen.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, there we go.
I joined the guest internet, so hopefully that's
Yeah,
better.
first thing I asked when you froze was like, are you on the guest internet?
Alright,
That's apparently better.
yeah, it's so fucking stupid. So she turns towards the group, with like this big beaming smile. And yeah, you guys recognize her as a blue barber. Um, she, oh, and then the rest of you are. We have Atya and, Cheeks, Mushy. Yep, of course. Um, I was told there was a dwarf with a nice, wonderful beard, Thunden. You're not him, I would venture to guess. Either way, your friend's food is getting cold, and you only get to try one of these once. You really want to try it hot. Let's talk in private.
Wait, why do I only get to try this once?
Try it
Like,
for
I
your
haven't seen
first
this
time once.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, okay.
Chicks has no idea who
Guys,
this
this
lady
stranger
is or
is
what she
inviting me
represents.
into an alley. What should I do?
Kill it.
does she look like the gnome I was seeing in the mirror?
No.
Does
Dang it.
does Silence, having grown up in Torn, know of the Blue Barbers or no? Because he wasn't there for when the Blue Barbers stuff happened.
Nope.
Neither was Cheeks.
Okay,
So
just wanted to make sure.
Cheeks met the Blue Barber a couple of times. Uh, Not the original time where he did y'all's hair, but Cheeks did meet the Blue Barber hold an oval throne at the
Mhm.
banquet for the Lore Keeper. He was there and
Ah.
helped you guys fight and escape.
Right. Well, I'm kind of like conflicted right now because one, I kind of don't want to go to an alley with a stranger. But on the other hand, I really, really want to eat this fried food.
It's a
Like
good stranger.
really,
I'm sure
really
we can follow
badly.
them.
Listen, mutual acquaintance of ours hired. Well, not so much an acquaintance of mine. The man smells terrible and doesn't take care of his beard with shit. But he hired me to help you with a task of his, something about hair.
Crap.
But
All right, let's get this over with. I go to the alley just so I can eat the food. Yeah, I already know who's doing that, pulling the strings here. Mask up.
I wouldn't say really pulling the strings. I mean, I just don't see any harm in getting him some hair.
Oh, lady. Oh, you have no idea who you're working for. Oh, oh man.
Either way, my compatriot Holden sends his regards.
Right.
Poor bastard.
First, before
His
we do
shop
any
got
of this,
shut down.
do you have any like moral, like anything, morality? Like where are you at morality wise?
What the bloody hell is
That
that
seems
supposed
like
to
a
mean?
very deep question
It
to ask a
means
stranger in the
that
middle of
if
the
you're gonna
street,
work for the
friend.
professor, you kind of have to have like no morality whatsoever because he's a heartless piece of shit.
Well, here, if you want to have a chat, come on back to the shop. I'll give you a haircut. We can talk about it over that.
I like my hair,
If you want to
which
get
he
to know
has
your
never
barber.
had cut.
Oh, see, the thing is, actually, it would be better if you give the haircuts. You will be posing as my apprentice, so you'll have
I'm
to
sorry,
learn
what?
something.
That's
Right?
okay.
Anyway, did
Right.
you
Just
try it?
friend.
Yes, he literally ate the whole thing in one gulp.
It was yeah, it was really fucking good. And when you probably actually have grease that's just like kind of dribbling down your face.
Right. Before we go to your shop, how many coppers and a gold? 20? Was it 20? Because there's 10 copper and a
Yes.
silver. How many of those? Okay, so 2 copper, so I
No.
can get 10 of them for a gold. Wait.
Nope. So just convert it.
100?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, 100. Because okay, yeah, because 10 silver is 10 gold and
But
10 copper
just
is
do
10.
nine silver and 8 copper. Back.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean like however many a gold piece can get me.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair.
Which I'm assuming is like what, 50?
He doesn't have
It's
that
gonna clean
much.
out the shop.
He's a small business.
I was gonna
He
say
will happily make them for you for the next like hour and a half or whatever. But yeah, he doesn't have that many up and ready.
I will go ahead and give him the gold and be like, okay, just as many as you can make in 5 minutes.
Oh, right. I can't believe. Okay. He's like he starts yelling towards like the towards his family that he's got there with him, and they all start like going into a frenzy trying to like make as many of these little fried
And pulls out the
things as
instrument and is
possible.
playing music to give them energy.
Frantically playing
I
music.
will literally use a bardic inspiration for this man. I am going to waste a bardic inspiration on this cook. I want these.
So he already had like 15 up. But by the end of the 5 minutes, he makes like another 50 of them. And so you end up with 65 of these things.
question: would we have at any point in all of this had a short rest?
We
Not
took a
yet.
long rest before they
Okay.
did the.
Yeah, you guys took a long rest before you guys went into the thing, but no rest
Yeah.
since.
How much did you waste while we were in there?
I took a lot of damage.
Oh well, if that's it.
I just figured if we had already taken one, I could hit die. So
You wiggling.
Oh yeah, I guess we could
okay.
take a short rest again. I mean, I'm sure it can be like a short rest thing when we're at the barbershop talking. I don't know. I don't know the plan.
We'll
Anyway,
figure it out.
I take all the things, and before I leave, I'm gonna be like, you know what? Here's a tip, and I give him another gold and move.
As
Be like,
you're
food,
waiting the
food,
5 minutes for
food.
the pastries, Belior kind of coughs. I do feel like we're forgetting something.
Yeah, I know, but food, fried food, really good fried food.
No, I mean we're supposed to go talk to Fathagn.
Oh yeah, sorry. Like the whole stranger danger thing happened, and then there was this food. Um. Okay, should we go talk to Faffin first? Happen.
No. Probably it was part of the whole point of why we went into that maze.
Right.
It's not that we're forgetting, it's that we do need to get something to eat before we get there. I'm sure you agree with that, Bellier.
Belliver's probably shoving his face full of those things.
Oh, who said I'm sharing? You're assuming that Grin
But
is
so.
like Grin is a nice guy, but
You bought all
No,
that you
I'll
could get in
share.
5 minutes, and then it's like, yeah, so nobody else can even have any because he's everyone that he makes is mine, motherfucker.
okay. Here's 10 for you. 10 for you. There's 65, so yeah, that's like 10 for everyone, but 15 for me.
Cheeks is just gonna stuff them in her cheeks and savor them for a while.
That's what's up.
Okay, so
Silence is just gonna be like, ah, thank you, and hand his over the cheek.
what? You got a problem with fried food?
Just not in the mood presently, Master Kren. Thank you, though.
Are you in the mood for anything ever?
Justice. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
Okay. Anyway, so hair person?
Belliwer speaks up. I don't want to try to do the Belliwer voice anymore. He says that he's gonna go talk to Fathagn because she has information for him, and that when you
All right.
guys decide that you want to do that, which he specifically, more like the DM, is saying that you don't need to do that right now. Whenever, whatever order you want to do this shit, he will be waiting for you there. Okay.
Awesome,
All right.
Bellier. We'll see you later.
Bellior pieces out.
Okay. So I guess we're going to the barbers.
These barbers. Is there anything I should know?
They're
They
weird.
seem to. Well, they
They're
seem to.
good barbers.
I mean, yeah, but they seem to know a lot of shit for barbers.
Their mirrors are weird.
When you think about it, all barbers know a lot of shit. You guys realize
Oh,
that,
jeez.
has she told you her
Oh,
name
sorry.
yet, or has she not even?
We haven't asked
Nope.
for it
So
yet.
just
you
She
by
hasn't
the
said it
food.
yet.
I didn't think you guys had asked. So yeah, no, the barber you guys notice has actually been kind of like inconspicuously like standing there, like really close to you guys this whole time.
Oh yeah, I know. I was just choosing to
Oh,
ignore her
wait.
existence right now
Didn't
because of food.
I didn't see you there at all. What's your name? Remind me your name, sorry?
Oh, I'm sorry. Grinhild is my name. One of the blue barbers, of course. You met
Green.
my cohort, Holden, back in Kevkar. You remember Holden, don't you?
Of course.
Yeah.
Holden.
Well,
Silence
anyway,
is just kind of like.
you know barbers. Word gets around.
I mean, not really. I've never had a haircut in my life.
Same.
Do
Well,
you even have hair?
she points to you,
I mean,
Cheeks.
Yeah.
You could use a trim and probably a wash. You look a little muddy. You, my friend, will have to learn, and I think that perhaps your friends here are good stock to practice on.
No.
I mean, that's fine.
I have grown this my entire life. So no.
You do need a bath, though.
No. This is how we smell. That's
I'm pretty
racist.
sure she takes like what are those dirt baths or whatever.
Yeah,
they
pretty
do,
much.
The
Yeah.
chinchilla, what chinchillas do.
Yeah, pretty much. That's racist.
It's not a bath, that's just getting dirtier.
That's also racist.
Well, actually, it does help clean their coats out. It's just a weird thing that does it. Anyway. Right, sure. Anyway, barber shop. Whatever. Apparently I'm learning how to cut hair.
So,
Why
Grinhild
not?
begins to lead you guys through the kind of like winding alleyways of this city. Um, None of these streets are paved. It's all just, grassy. And then, the only parts of it that are paved are like the foundations of the buildings. Um, but you guys eventually come upon a kind of crooked building uh, that is painted with a kind of it's like a deep blue paint that has been cracking off from age. It looks like um, the insignia of the Blue Barbers hangs over the door. Um, you guys begin to make your way inside. Uh, Immediately as you come in, there is so Grenhild unlocks the door, and you guys walk into the kind of I don't know what you would call the room where you actually do the barber shopping, but the with the chairs and the mirror and everything, the haircutting room, and she ushers you inside.
Well, that's the barber shop. That's the
Perfect.
literal barber shop.
Please, make yourselves comfortable. I'm going to slip in the back and make some tea. I will be back in just a couple of minutes. Grimhild heads into the next room. She leaves the door ajar, and you guys can hear her begin to, you hear her kind of rustling around in the next room, which does look to be a kitchen if you kind of peer into it. But you guys are left alone in this barber shop.
Right.
Silence is just gonna look around. So, this is a barber you've met in the Fae before, but they know
No.
your master? What?
This is a new barber. We knew a barber in the other town, that the city we were in, Cathcar. Is it
Holden.
Cathcar? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before it all went to shit. And this is the second blue barber we've ever met. And I'm trying to figure out. Well, you see, now I'm kind of like super. What's the word I'm looking for here? Well, let's just say I don't trust her worth a shit because she's working with the professor, and anyone who actively chooses to work with that man can go fuck themselves.
Well, does that mean it sounded like she knew the former barber, that all the barbers are working with him?
I don't know. It sounds more like they're getting paid to do this, like a mercenary type thing, but if they all are, then I may have to start cutting hair. Air quotes.
Right. Should I treat them as friend or foe or
Neither
inconsequential?
inconsequential. At
Friends.
least until they
Sexual
actively tried to
activity.
kill us. Which at this point is
Understood.
pretty much like inevitable to happen, because I think at this point everyone is trying to kill us.
Silence.
Is that
As
why?
you're in the middle of this conversation, over Crin's shoulder, you hear a sound like screeching, like nails on chalkboard. You jump, I'm assuming, from the sudden noise. So you guys all can see Silence's demeanor suddenly change in the middle of this conversation as he gets really tense and jumps. Silence, you can see a shape on the other side of this room, kind of like in the darkest pocket, in the darkest corner. Something moving towards you guys, scraping its claws along the mirror, creating this horrible screeching noise.
Wait, do we all hear the noise?
Nope.
Oh.
I
Are you okay? This is like the third or fourth time where you just randomly freaked out. Is everything like Are you doing okay, buddy?
The figure continues to move towards Kryn. Uh, you can see it over his shoulder as he's asking you these questions. You have almost tunnel vision, and it's hard to focus on Kryn's voice. It feels like it's coming from like super far away.
But buddy, you look vacant there. Hello? Okay, well, I guess he's out.
Suddenly, you snap back into reality as the room comes back into focus. The dark pocket where everything was so shadowy before shifts, and it's like you can clearly see the corner of the room. Every your tunnel vision goes away. You can see that the rest of the party is all there.
He's just gonna like, if you're like immediately around him, so like probably Kryn at the least, we hear, "You are not real. You are not real."
What? I'm real. Wait, am I not real? Oh God, if
I
I
think
just a
you're
figure of
real.
someone's imagination,
No, you're real, Corinne. I
that
can see
explains
you.
everything.
Silence doesn't know what he's talking about, Corinne.
No, not you, Master Kryn. You're real.
Oh, thank God. Oh wait, no, never mind. I just realized that meant everything that bad happened to me that was real. Okay, now I'm depressed. Oh God. I just keep eating the right food at that point.
I'm just gonna be. Perhaps I'm just hungry and not having enough sleep, and
I
I'm
hand
gonna,
him fried food.
and he's just gonna like sit down like flat on the floor, and just start chomping on it, but also staring intently at the corner where he saw the thing.
You can hear
But he's gonna look
Grinhild in
at
the next.
Silence.
Sorry.
Sorry. He's
Go
gonna
ahead.
look at Silence, then look at Kryn, and then look back at Silence and give it the look what you've done. This is all you've.
You know what you need? Silence. I pull out a rock. You need a mental rock. God damn it, I'm forgetting the actual name. Emotional support rock.
George.
Yep.
Is it George or Thunden? Which side?
I mean, well, they're two separate rocks.
Oh my gosh.
But remember, he's thick.
Wow.
True that.
So, here's George. He's just a rock with a smiley face. I literally ordered a bag of like 30 rocks just to make these two things.
I love it.
Why didn't you go outside and grab a rock?
Because there's like none around here that are literally this. They're like either tiny ass little pebbles or a fucking boulder. There was like nothing this sized.
That's fair. I'm
To be
gonna
fair, it was
take
like $3.
Silence is gonna take the rock, look at it, and then with one hand with the fried fruit, just eat it and be like,
Wait,
"Hello,
eat the
George."
rock?
No, not the rock, the fried
I know.
food.
Silence, that is not food.
Right, this is
They
George.
did
You
not teach you manners.
just whenever you feel stress, you just clutch him as hard as you can with the realization that no matter how hard you squeeze him, he's never gonna break. I hope.
And I squeeze hard as I can upon hearing
I mean,
that.
Crit's weak as shit, so he can never break it.
Finally, Grinhild re-enters the room. She has a tray balanced on her hands that is loaded. It has a steaming hot pot of tea, several cups, and then a plate with what looks like some crackers, some biscuits, and then another plate with some what look to be like chocolate chip cookies. As she brings them out and then places the tray down on uh, like a little counter that runs along one of the room's walls. Now help yourselves. Just try not to make a mess. Although I can always sweep it up, so it's no big deal.
Grin grabs the entire plate of chocolate chip cookies. Oh wait, were we supposed to share these?
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah,
I can
okay.
always make more.
I just grab one.
It's okay, Crane. You can have them.
I can't feed anything else in my cheeks, so feel free to eat them.
You know what the best part about not having cheeks? I can just unhinge my jaw and just dump it down the throat.
What a lovely visual.
Yep.
Grenhild looks around at all of your friends. So we've got a kobold, we have a mushroom, we have a hamster who apparently refuses to get a haircut. Silence, you're bald, right?
On one side it's burned, and then the other side is short, and then kind of shaved on the other.
And then Kryn, who also doesn't really have hair.
Green has hair. You haven't seen the. It's only his face that's missing it. He has
Okay.
all the skin from his ears and head and back. That's the fucked up visual. It's just.
Unfortunately, you can't practice on yourself, so she's like, well, I suppose if we're gonna want to be practicing, it's gonna have to be the Queen's Knight that you'll have to practice on. She's the only one with a full head of hair.
Nice. I pull up my dagger. How do we do this?
No, nothing so brutal. Besides, we'll want to be talking first, I'd imagine.
Right. I put the dagger away.
So I've been meaning to ask you, how did you manage your escape from from Cavcott? I mean, I had heard from Holden that there was a fight that you had all absconded with an airship and then just disappeared right from out of Totem's grasp.
Yeah, it was super weird. We just flew until we flew into another dimension. That's how it goes sometimes. Well, another world, not dimension. And weird finding that out.
I suppose that is how
Then
it
we
goes
crashed,
sometimes.
and then we lost the ship. And Thunden got eviscerated.
Oh.
Like, literally eviscerated. Like, actual definition of eviscerated. Like, damn.
I suppose that
Yeah,
explains
we've
his
been through a lot.
absence, and I would like to offer my condolences, for I know that he was a friend of yours.
You couldn't tell?
So I'm assuming you're pretty pissed, thinking that I am working for your old, or that old bastard Fathagn.
What? Like, oh, no, not at all. I say with heavy sarcasm.
In a way, I am working for him, but
Dagger comes up.
well, so Fathagn has been a long time customer of the Blue Barbers. We're quite popular all throughout Elegant and indeed Arborea too. Uh, but no, you see, the man is a little too chatty with the people who cut his hair. We know things. Uh, rightly, we know how much of a bastard he is. And we know about you, Crane, and several of your other well, unfortunate friends.
Like, how much do you know?
Not much. We try to keep tabs on you when we can. We
I
only
mean,
know
the others, like, do you know how many the professor may have recaptured other than 16?
I've only heard tell of two others uh, who have been cited, um, besides 16, who of course was captured in Kevkar.
Yeah. Best moment of my life.
The other two, however, have managed to escape far away, uh, taking a ship, I believe. I would think for now they're out of Tatkin's grasp. Other than
Oh,
that, I
thank
can't say.
God.
But
Okay.
I was asked by the Order to take this position, since I was in a very good spot to do so, and I could ensure that you at least have the option to do whatever you need to do. If you simply don't retrieve anything, if you don't even meet with someone, or if you meet with somebody who is less trustworthy than me, then they may force you to bring the hair, or hell, I could bring the hair myself to Tatkin, but I think it would be best to put it in your hands, and, well, my order likes to help out the right people, so...
Right, so whose hair are we cutting?
Well, there is a archfey of the Winter Court here in the city. He has a permanent residence here. The Lord of the Morning Frost, he's called. I always hate their titles. Such arrogant shit.
I never saw the point to titles, honestly.
Have you started going by your title yet, Glorious Knight?
Do you think she meets you?
Oh,
She's in the loo. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
well, either way, um, he's a little bit eccentric as far as the Winter Court goes. Although, to be fair, most of them are rather strange. He himself is a rather large fan of ancient Anagan history, to tell you the truth. Um, very enamored by half-elves and their like. Uh, seems to be good that you have somebody of the descent in group that should work in your favor during the meeting. Uh, Either way, we're just going to head in, uh, do his hair. He usually is quite chatty, and he normally makes me and my assistants stay over for dinner and drinks, but he's actually a quite charming fellow. The nice thing is, I mean, we are literally giving the man a haircut. Normally a trim on his beard as well. The hair will be easy to get. Nobody needs to get hurt. And it should be, all in all, a nice and joyous evening.
Which means that's going to end a disaster and someone's going to end up dead.
Well,
Because
I would
that shit
suggest...
never happens with us. Last time we went to a party at a mansion, an entire city got nuked. I mean, not literally, but figuratively.
I heard about Kevcard. Poor Holden had to shut down his shop and move down south. Last I heard,
Yeah,
he
I'm
was
just
in the
saying, our
capital.
track record for, like, having plans go, like, smoothly is shit.
Did Silence hear the stuff about the half elf?
Oh, for sure.
Like,
Yeah, she's talking to
Oh,
all of
yeah.
you guys right now.
okay, I just wanted to make sure. Because Silence is definitely going to be like, why exactly does he have a interest in half elves?
Something about being a half-elf in a past life. Like I said, the
Was
man's
gonna say something
eccentric.
completely different. Anyway, all right. So, when is this meeting?
Well, we will be going, what time is it now? It's always so hard to tell without the sun. Give me a moment. She walks over and opens a little cabinet that appears to be like a sort of like chimney that uh, you know, and in it is a little candle that it like burns to tell the time. So there's like specific spots that'll tell you what time it is, since they don't have great use of the sun. Um, let's see. Meeting will be in about 10 hours. So, we've got. Oh, nope, I'm reading this wrong. 12 hours or so, so. And it shouldn't take me long to. You really don't need to know how to cut hair well. You just need to off well enough to be my apprentice, uh, Master Kryn. The rest of you, she kind of looks around. Let's see what we can do. Well, he is a fan of. Are you versed in history at all? Fathagn history at all, Master? I didn't catch your name. She looks at you, silence.
Uh, Master Silence, Silence Pharaoh. Yes, I happen to be well versed in history.
You could be another colleague of mine or a friend visiting from the Rift here in the city. I could bring you with and introduce you. I think that should work fine. Let's see. Ati, are you back?
I am.
Okay. She's like, you are a little bit more problematic, being such a conspicuous figure. I believe, though, that you, if you take on the winter form and wear maybe less summer court symbolatry, we could pose you off as one of my bodyguards, and you could just wear a tight helmet or something.
Perfect. I'll make sure to be ready in the morning. Not doubting it'll be hard.
Mushy, you will, of course, be also one of my bodyguards. Yip, Cheeks, you two will be under apprentices. I'd like Kryn to take on the role of major apprentice. It will allow him to be a little bit closer.
Chicks takes out her claws and asks, "Can I cut with these?"
You, as under apprentice, nobody would want you to cut their hair, so you will be mostly carrying around a broom, sweeping, and the likes.
Oh,
So you're like collecting hair, which is very important. Considering that if we don't do this, he's going to kill all of us. Anyway.
Now,
I,
let's just practice to make sure that everyone knows their place. Uh, Bodyguards probably have the easiest job since, well, you're mostly just playing yourselves. You are warriors after all. And Silence, you'll have to not wear so much armor. Or do you use mage armor?
I'm pretty sure no, he's in. Well, he's in like war mage regalia from like Edigan, or not Edigan, Torum.
That would actually be fine. You already bear some scholarly resemblance, I think.
Yeah, he's got robes and like sashes and stuff hanging off of him and his armor. So
Yeah, but you're still dressed up super fine, right?
Actually, no. He went back to homeless Yip look.
Okay. You'll need to at least put on a shirt or so. We'll have to do something about that.
I just cut out like a pillowcase, and it's been working great since.
Didn't you buy like a bunch of fancy clothes back at Kafkar? Like,
No,
and a hat?
it will work. You will play the servant of our master scholar here.
Alright.
You have no idea how much I hate that.
Too late. It's happening.
I'm sorry. To be fair, you chose the role yourself. I can't even like. Anyway,
Just don't give him a sock.
the haircutters is the important part. So, we will use our friend Atia here, if you don't mind having your hair trimmed, for a quick demonstration on what to do to collect the hair and all of that.
I'd rather you didn't. I don't have that much hair already. It's been burned. I need to take care of it. I'm sure we can use someone else as an example.
There's literally no one else.
She looked there. So Silence is like mostly bald. Fryn needs to be in part of the demonstration. Cheeks also needs to be in part of the demonstration, but even if she didn't need to be, she wouldn't do it. She doesn't want the haircut. Mushy doesn't have hair, and Yip doesn't have hair.
Ah, dang it. Is there any civilians around?
No.
If only
you guys
Thunden
are
is
Like, I
alive.
look
you guys are the
around.
only ones in the barber shop.
If only Thunden were alive.
Oh, yeah.
If
I could
only
shave his
Belior was
beard.
here. Oh no, Belior doesn't have hair either.
Unless he goes werewolf.
Why?
I think
why-
actually
why are
he's
you
got
so
long
confident?
hair.
I promise I won't take much off. In fact, I'll only trim off the burnt tips.
Okay. Okay. I think that's fine. But Atya's still kinda uneasy about it.
All right. So, let's begin the demonstration. So, essentially, um, the Grinhild begins. She just tips or trims off the burnt tips of Atia's hair, but she explains that she'll cut off a little bit more from the Fey guy. You know, you basically just want to keep up a conversation with him, and then she shows you Cheeks how to work. She's got a little mechanical box that you can sweep the hair into for disposal. That you know, that way you guys are able to take it from there. It all seems pretty clean and easy. But while that's going on, Atia, you begin, you know, sitting there. She's cutting your hair. Um, how does Atia feel as the demonstration is starting?
Very uncomfortable the whole time.
As you're feeling uncomfortable, probably a sense someone is watching you. You realize that someone is watching you. Your reflection is watching you rather intently. It begins to morph. It is shadowy. You feel almost dizzy. You kind of shake your head a little bit. The demonstration has seemed to stop. You look around, but your friends aren't there. You're by yourself. You're in this dark room. The only thing that's still there, the only light, is the mirror. But there is no mirror, there's no reflection, just a figure standing before you. I am not your enemy, Atia. You hear the figure, a voice coming from it. I am
Do I
not.
recognize this figure?
It is short, feminine. You can see the outline of it as it begins to take more form. You can definitely see that it's by the features as it begins to take more shape. That is probably a gnome by the kind of more bulbous features, but slender body. Um, Dressed in a fine, some kind of dress that is tightly drawn to the body, but it's hard to make out. Still just a figure made of shadow, but you can see two violet eyes kind of burning. Uh, it, where eyes would be. Um, Atia, I have waited so long to speak to you. I am not your enemy.
Who are you? You're not my enemy. Who are you then?
I'm your friend. I'm here to warn you of a tragedy before it happens.
A friend wouldn't hide in the shadows, but I'll listen to your warning.
I'm sorry. I wish I was able to emerge more. I am trapped like all my kind, but it must remain this way, Atia, Knight of Sabrel. You must keep it this way.
What way? The way that in which you're trapped?
You
I must keep it that way?
you start to hear faintly the sound of voices. The room begins to very slowly fade into existence around you. You can tell that like whatever's happening is starting to end. Out of time. I cannot. I. You must be careful, Adia. There is one who follows you, one who is evil, one who seeks the return of my kind. You must stop them.
Silence.
As you speak, the room, uh, and so yeah, I mean it's not very complicated. Um, Basically, I'm going to be doing all the work. Just act personable. Can you do that?
What just happened? And she's
What
gonna
now?
look for silence in the room.
What's silence
Hey,
doing?
Atya, keep your head still. I'm trying to do something here.
I mean, I couldn't quite make out exactly what Atia said.
I'm just looking for you in the room.
I'm just sitting there and like looking through my
Chilling,
sketchbook
looking at a
and
magazine.
yeah, basically like I'm looking through my sketchbook and also like trying to make sure I'm well versed in Edigan history and like trying to remember like obscure things so I can make this go swimmingly.
Cram studying. Fuck yeah. Yeah, he does.
Basically.
Yeah, so Ate, as you peer towards silence, he's sinisterly looking over his spell book. He's flipping through pages, and you can see him muttering to himself, probably incantations or some shit.
Yeah, definitely dark evil fucking shit.
That's suspicious. But she's just like whispering to herself. It's like, okay, and you done, Grinho?
I am in fact done here. She pulls the little cape off of the front of you. Oh, and I see we're out of cookies. She kind of glances towards you, Kryn. Hey, let me be a dear and grab us another tray. She grabs the plate and kind of putters off into the kitchen to grab more cookies.
Be honest, guys. Is my wish starting to go out? Probably.
No, you look perfectly fine. Look at you, so plump. While you walk, you're fine.
But literally skin and bones. Anyway, so this is like the weirdest thing we've ever had to do.
Yeah. Have you ever done anything like this before? Is there some protocol I should be aware of, or?
Nope. I have never been a part of a haircutting scheme. This is my first. Though,
Are,
if the record, like, if our past record is anything to go by, our past track record, something will eventually go wrong, and we are all going to have to murder a lot of people to get out of that place. It happens a lot.
Well, I certainly hope not.
Let's see.
Grinhild comes back into the
There was
room with
the
the
escape
cookies.
from Torum. There was when we were trying to get out of the Feywild the first time with that Vulture King guy. That was a slaughter fest. There was all of this shit that basically happened in Kafkar. Oh, and the Cobalt City, which I guess we didn't really have to slaughter. Oh no! By the end, we did slaughter like an entire ship full of people, and Thundin shot a small child in the head, and then. Like literally
sure he had his reasons.
everything we do eventually
It
ends
was
up
fine.
in mass slaughter. Are we the bad guys?
I will.
As I hold my mom's skull, I'm like, I don't think so.
Oh God,
I,
what have I done with my life?
I feel as though after having met all of you, I've become introduced to more combat than I perhaps would have regularly been.
I know, right?
Food for
Like, is it
thought.
all of us together as a unit just attract all this danger? Like, if we suddenly all went our separate ways, would there suddenly be like no people trying to kill us anymore? I mean, I'm not that naive to believe that would actually happen, but
Well, not to stir any upheaval. Perhaps there's a cause for this. Maybe a person serving a certain someone that happens to be bringing misfortune our way.
are
I
you
think he's
saying?
talking about you.
Are you saying that Yip and his magical Sky Daddy are the ones trying to kill us?
No, not yet.
What?
I
Fuck.
just Fabrel just seems to be a looming dark cloud over us. Just my observation since I've joined you. But if it was there before, then it was there before. Just my
Of course, you
observation,
would
my
think
times. Of course, I would think the misanthropic tyrant that has committed genocides against an entire planet of people might not have
Yeah.
their best interests at
So to
heart.
be fair,
How foolish.
Torum is quickly catching up with like destroying cities
That
and
is true.
trying to take out this entire world.
As I believe I agreed with Master Yip saying earlier.
Screw them
Forgive it.
all.
Hugo, Harsha, fuck Torum, and fucking Sabrel.
So, listen. I think we have most what we need sorted out. If you have any other business to attend to before tonight, you do have. Oh, she looks back over at the candle. Oh, what's it been? An hour? You got another 11 hours, so I guess explore the city. They do have some wonderful shops with the with the portal here. So
A lot of us basically spent all our gold before we went to that maze. And yeah, sure. I know that for a fact that we need to take like a little bit of a break because some of us are hurt. Because
you
certain other people in the party had to get brainwashed.
well
Oh wait,
you've got
that was all
11
of us.
hours for it. So
Yeah.
So I obviously want to get a full rest.
Short rest?
Just as
Because
whatever I can do to make sure I get full health. Because 12 hours that would indicate I could get a full rest.
You
I don't
guys,
think we
right now,
can
you
take
guys
another
have
long rest.
um.
Because we just woke up from one.
I don't think so.
I'll allow it.
All right.
I was gonna say I thought we left the maze because I definitely was like
Well,
I'm
we
at
woke
13
up
out of
and then
45
yeah,
health.
but
well, yeah,
that's because you guys were fighting each other and dealt a shitload of damage
Right,
to each
right.
other.
yeah. Yep,
But
fucked
no,
you
you
up.
guys did long rest before, but I'll allow you guys to long rest right now because I kind of planned that into the whole length of
Oh,
time
okay.
before. But like right now, you guys have enough time to go talk to Fathagn, take a long rest, and do any shopping that you need to do.
I would like to acquire a manica.
Okay, it is the price
Which
that it states in the book.
I refuse to pay full price. I will not be tricked by you, gypsy. No, I'm kidding.
The werewolf just like looks like stares at you like, oh, well, make a intimidation check. Yes.
Oh, I mean, I was just joking, but all right. I have a -1, so get ready. Yeah.
No.
Wow.
Well, then I won't sell it to you.
Right, that's fair, I suppose. Oh, suppose I'll pay full price then.
I can't tell you how many times a day I hear that joke. I gotta tell you,
It's
buddy, it's not very funny.
it's newer where I'm from. I should have suspected you've heard it before.
Where the
My
hell are you
apologies.
from?
Edigan.
I am as well. We're not idiots down there.
Perhaps it's just the circles I run in then.
Oh,
You calling me stupid?
you're a druid, I understand.
Exactly. Thank you for understanding.
That was a meta joke.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, he'll sell it to you for the listed price.
All right.
I can't believe you guys spent all that gold.
I mean, I got prepped up. Like, I still have a shit ton of the stuff I bought, which is mostly scrolls. So I am stocked. I guess I could spend the 500 gold diamond. Do we really need that to revive someone?
Yes?
Yeah.
Mean.
Yeah.
I mean...
I did spend gold to get 300 gold diamonds. So I got 1 500 gold diamond and 300 gold diamonds. I could revive, well, still only 2 people because I only got that many spell slots. Ugh.
Well, if nobody needs to purchase anything else, do you guys want to go talk to Fathagn?
Yeah.
Or,
Sure.
oh, I'll probably spend the time getting my hurdy-gurdy magically with the one thing. We got 11 hours to do that.
Yeah,
I don't
you
know.
guys will have time to pretty much do anything you need to do before you go to this manor.
Yay! Magic hurdy-gurdy.
So you guys make your way to Brokenstone Keep, and up the various ramps to the central hall, where you guys know the like tree where you guys got those really good fruits, and Fathagn should be waiting for you. As you guys arrive, you can see that she is currently kind of floating a few feet above the air, kind kind of right in front of Belior. They seem to be like engrossed in a conversation about which you guys can't quite hear the details of. And they kind of come to a stop in their conversation as you guys enter the room. Belior kind of backing up, looking very distant-minded, very focused on something else. Fathagn, though, she looks mostly the same as she did before, but now she is seemingly glowing from like a brilliant light. This almost pale glow that emanates from her. She kind of glides towards you guys, and so she's not multiple feet off the ground. She's only like a couple of inches off the ground, just hovering with her toes almost touching the ground. Ah, my friends, I am so glad you have returned. I have told your friend Belior everything that he needed to know about the Crimson Hand and where their order fits in with his. But perhaps there is still much for us to talk about. The Crimson Hand, as I have talked with Belior about, is led by Tarkun the Desiccated. You have heard the name, I'm assuming.
Yes, I say quietly.
Who? Have I heard this name? God.
I think you guys have heard it in passing, but the only two that have really heard it are Belior and Cheeks. And
Oh,
well, no, you guys have all heard it. Yeah, it was Atia's predecessor, the previous knight
oh, right. Yeah.
um of Sabrel. So um
Yeah, that guy.
Atia, you I'm sure should know all of this.
Altia is away from keyboard right now. She'll be right back.
You know what? I think Casey is too. Before I
Yeah, yeah.
before I info dump,
Um, uh,
maybe we should take a break.
Yeah.
Is everybody else here? Is Casey back? No, Casey's gone. Yeah, let's just take a quick break right now. This is about that time. Everybody come back at 45. 8-minute break. A little bit shorter, but it's
Cool.
okay.
Okay.
I'm really glad that I'm gonna be able to play D&D and not have work be so shitty with it again.
Yeah,
Yay!
that is. That's all I want.
Yeah, dude.
When they first told me about the 12-hour shifts, the amount of stress that I fucking felt because I was sitting here like, there's no way in fucking hell I'm giving up this game. So it's like, they better not put me with the fucking shift in the week that's crap.
It's a good thing you don't have to work the next day usually.
Yeah, because my boss lets me do overtime on Fridays, so I don't have to do it on Thursdays.
That's good.
I
Forgot about that, but
specifically asked for that so I could be here with you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude, like, anytime anyone says that they have to go, like, it's always such a bummer, too. Like, I remember, like, when Will thought he was gonna have to quit, and we were all like, man, goodbye, Will, it's been real.
Y'all better be lucky as fuck that I failed my weed test after like 3 months of quitting.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we would have missed you.
I still don't understand that process in the US. I have never been drug tested, and I've worked for an airline in Colombia.
Well, that was to get into the military, so like, yeah.
Oh, that one makes
You
sense.
gotta
Yeah.
know. So listen, you can only take drugs to kill people after you're in.
yeah.
Alright, so like for real though, uh, drug testing though has gotten a lot more lenient um, since like weed has become more accepted. I will say
Yeah.
like I still do get drug tested for, so usually if it's retail, no drug tests, but like whenever you're doing like machinery and stuff, they do test. And I respect that because they test for like, like coke and meth and stuff. And like unlike weed, those like only stay in your bloodstream for like a little while. So if you really can't stop doing coke for a little fucking while to go get a job where you're interacting with heavy machinery, like maybe like you got a problem.
Yeah. No, I had a remote like law gig that they literally wanted me to, out of my own pocket, pay to get drug tested for.
Oh, hell no.
No, they
Yeah.
pay it.
That shit.
Every
Yeah.
time they pay.
And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And they like, oh, well, why haven't you? I'm like, if you want to pay for it, go for it. But like, I'm not gonna pay for like that shit. Like, because you haven't like offered me the job.
Yeah.
You haven't been like, you got it. They were like, you got to get this piss test first. I'm like, so if you pay for it, like, I'll do it. I got no problem with it. And they're like, doesn't really speak highly if you're that, this, or that. I'm like, dude, like, I'm not gonna throw like $120 down the drain
It's
to
like,
go
listen,
to that place and
I'm
piss
trying
test.
to get this job because I need money. I am not
Yeah.
trying to get this job because I want to
Yeah.
give you money.
Yeah, and I was also like, also, it's a remote gig. You guys are in Alabama. I'm in Florida. Like, yeah, this is for like a 2 week contract at most. Like, if you're an idiot, maybe 4, but like 2 weeks at most. Like, I can pump this out. And they were like, no, you got to do it. I'm like, well, fucking find someone else then. I'm like, fuck it.
In their defense, it's Alabama, bro.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the first time I've come across anything like that. Most places are just like, you do drugs, and I'm like, no, and they're like, bet. That's it.
I had an old manager who, at work, got into some kind of an accident. And when that happens, you have to get drug tested because they want to make sure you weren't like high when it happened.
Hmm.
Came back and failed because he smokes a shit ton of weed. And like 2 or 3 months later, he gets rehired by the company to work in sales, where apparently drug testing did not matter worth a shit.
Dude, I love DMing, but the worst part about being a DM is that when you're like in the middle of a session, you can't just be snacking on some shit the whole time. Like when you're a player, you
Yeah.
know, like when you're not talking, you can always just turn off your camera and like eat a whole bunch of fucking food. But like as the DM, you're always gonna be ready to respond to shit and like, yeah.
Well, that's when the players just need to realize that we're human beings that need to consume food to live.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm such a perfectionist. All right, that being said, it's 9:45. Everybody back?
Yep.
So we'll back up a bit for Silent's benefit, since he was gone for the start of this. You guys had come in with Fathagn speaking to Belior.
I'm sorry, Alex. Have you read Ava's message?
No, I haven't checked.
I think you might want to.
That makes sense. I'll allow
Yeah,
it, but I'm gonna have to kill Atia.
that's fair.
So, I mean, that's the only thing
I'm-
I'll be able to do.
I agree with that ruling. That sounds fair, right,
That
everyone?
sounds really fair. Yeah.
Wait, is
So-
Atia leaving?
She is super sick right now.
Oh,
Like,
that's why she
actually,
went to the bathroom.
Nah, she ate a whole box of candies.
Oh,
Of like
What?
gummies.
No, regular ass candies.
You're an adult. That's something you do when you're like
Like Nutella
10.
waffle
I agree with
sticks.
this.
That's like when
My
Ash got
defense.
way too
Fuck.
high.
I told her
Like,
no
that's
more
like,
candy for
okay.
you, and I felt like her mom for a second right there.
I did find out I might have been a stolen baby last night, so I'm not coping with that correctly, and I overindulged with candy without realizing it, and it kicked my butt.
Yeah, that part of the joke was real. She might be a stolen baby.
goddamn.
oh,
So, alright, so, we
But I am so sorry, guys.
are you leaving?
I'm gonna like lie down a little bit, but I'm still gonna hear the whole thing.
Alright. So, right, so Fathagn was talking to, Belior. Belior kind of backs up from her, looking distracted. Um, you can see Fathagn, she looks mostly the same as she had before, but now she emits sort of a soft glow from her as she glides down towards you guys, to the point where she's no longer like several feet above the ground. She's just a couple of inches above the ground. My friends, you have returned from the maze, and you have done so well. Belior and I have already spoken, and I have put into perspective the Crimson Hand's place with his organization. But there are other things that I think perhaps we should discuss. Um, what do you know of Tarkun the Desiccated?
he's dead.
He's a pussy.
What?
He most certainly is not dead.
Huh?
He may be separated from the Splinter, but he is not dead. Tarkun was your friend Atia's. Well, Tarkun is your friend Atia, I suppose. Is the best way to put it.
But Atia is brave, and Takumi is a pussy.
Tarkun is very brave. But
I think that we can speak without using such vulgar language, my friend.
Hmm.
All of us Archfey are. Well, it isn't. It's very hard to explain to. I'm surprised, honestly, that Atia hasn't explained all of this to you, but I suppose that perhaps she doesn't know it herself. Maybe the memories haven't started to emerge, the powers haven't fully materialized. Um, each one of us Archfey bears a splinter of nature. Uh, I would explain more on what I mean, but just take it for a title for now because I don't think that I could. I don't think I could. But we are not necessarily our splinter. I am the Lady Fathagn. I am the Lady of the Broken Stone Veil. But I wasn't always. I was once just a normal person. I took up this splinter and I took on this being. The actions of my predecessors are my own, and the actions of my uh, ancestors, or my successors rather, will be my own. It's rather complicated. Uh, I suspect Atia will be able to explain it to you better as she continues to mature in her powers. Either way, um, Tarkun is. He was separated from his splinter for something that he did. Something he did without asking. Uh, and it has a lot to do with something that I did. I'm sure that you found the carnage at the center of the maze.
Yeah, that was fucked.
When we first met, I mentioned that there were things that I couldn't speak of, and you said that you knew the secrets that I spoke. What do you know? I want to see if I can enlighten you more, or
Do we know? Oh yeah, no, we know stuff. Let's see. We know Sabrel. We know the world used to be connected to the human world, or well, I guess more connected. There's a bunch of underground cities with some darkling mutated people. We know Sabrel caused basically at least tried to cause a genocide on the other world by setting out the plague. Then there's that whole God, what is it? A cold iron weapon thing with the murdering archfey people stuff is happening. Oh God, like Crane is just spilling the beans to everything. There was something
as you
else. I
do
feel like there
some,
was something else.
as you're talking, of course, the roots grow up from the ground to like provide seats for you all, so you guys are, able to sit down.
Oh, right. There's the Shadow Fae. Is that what they were called? Yeah, some weird Shadow Fae people that got imprisoned or something. There's a half elf that's apparently going to cause the downfall of The Archfey?
As Grin starts to go to say like there's a half, and as soon as that happens, silence is just gonna like wait. We obviously know quite a bit, Mr. Fathagn. If perhaps there's something you would care to enlighten us with.
Indeed, my friend. I would not have you share all of your information without giving something back, as I had
I mean, really, because I
promised.
got a whole book more. Like, I could keep going here.
Do not worry, Silence, you are not spilling any great secret to me. I am fully realized in my relation to my Splinter, and as such, I am aware of all of this. I just wanted to make sure where you were at, so I didn't need to waste time explaining what you think you know. There are some things, though. I'm sure you're aware the Darkhold Plague. Uh, it was more or less the idea and the realization of the Shadow Fae. For this, they were banished to the realm known as the Shadowfell. They were banished even though Zabrel herself had approved of the plan. Now, they weren't banished immediately. No, some things happened first. First, the plague ravaged the land, but here politics ravaged. My predecessor was a very important member of the Court of Seasons, for there was no summer or winter court at the time. We were one. My predecessor was well, she was the mother of the Moonlit King, the now king of the Winter Court, but then the co-ruler of the Court of Seasons. As his mother, she was highly regarded and ruled over all of Brokenstone Vale. When the Shadow Fae were banished, my predecessor did not take to it kindly. And to be honest, knowing as she did, I find it a great injustice as well. As such, I borrowed from Dark Secrets. You see, at the time, we Fae, we Archfey, had been as we were from our creation, from the splintering of nature. But all things must change, I suppose. There was a traveler, a man who had appeared to the Court of Seasons. A traveler from a distant world. He appeared like a dustling, but he was ancient beyond belief. They called him Imje, and he carried with him a sword. I never saw it, but from what I understand, it was able to rip the vessel apart from the splinter, effectively killing an Archfey. I studied this, and I created the first cold iron weapon. And with it tucked into my robe, I went to the to the palace in Senaliers. I went to meet with my daughter-in-law, the Queen Sibrel, and I slew her vessel. I killed Queen Sibrel.
Wait, but
Then
how?
who have we been talking to then?
Well, of course I was punished for this, and my previous vessel was likewise split from my splinter, just like I had done to the queen. For a while, we were left vesselless. Our splinter simply existing, I suppose. However, things turned to chaos in our absence. Of course, there was a fracture within the Court of Seasons. The Moonlit King could not abide his mother being killed. And all Sibrel being killed as well, the whole thing, they were torn apart. And thus the summer and winter courts were born. But the soldiers of Sibrel, under the guidance of Tarkun, her appointed knight, and also Archfey, made sure to punish anyone who was involved. And they did some terrible things. Of course, they marched upon the maze, and their soldiers killed every member of the Order of Lycan that were here, destroying much of their lore and, well, killing many of their senior members. But, for years, Tarkun ruled. With no Queen Sibrel, there was no one to change this, and Tarkun was very tight-fisted, I suppose. He was a hard ruler, and he waged war almost eternally with the Winter Court from some kind of vain rivalry he had with their knight. A rivalry which I hope you don't carry over, Atia. I hope you don't feel that rivalry for no reason. Although it seemed he did. So if you feel it, it's probably your
I mean, the
Splinter
King of
taking
Winter
over
did
again.
kill our friend Thundin, so there might be a problem there. Murder.
Either way, eventually, Sibrel did return. A new vessel took up her splinter. A much kinder vessel. The Sibrel that rules today. She has worked hard to right many of the wrongs that her previous self committed, and it may never be enough. Can you ever right that many wrongs?
Who took upon the mantle of Sabral? How is that even possible?
We don't like to speak of who we were before we took on the mantle. And it wouldn't be wise of me to speak of anything that I have heard. This is complicated, I'm sure, I'm sure you must have questions.
How is a splinter reborn? You said
You can't
Fathagn.
you can't kill a splinter. You can kill the vessel. You can pull the vessel apart from the splinter. But you can never truly destroy a splinter.
Can anybody become a splinter?
It is a complicated process. The splinter has to choose you. I suppose anybody who takes on the splinter is technically a vessel, but we often refer to the people who are destined to take one of these splinters as vessels, as there are often quite a few signs.
Wait. Oh shit, this is. Hold on. Kryn gets out that journal that freaking the professor has. Like, the professor talks about this shit. Vessels, splinters, all this shit. Oh god, he knows.
What are the signs of one ready to become a vessel?
If you encounter them, you would know.
The Shadow Fae. The previous Queen Sabrel encouraged their doing, then turned their back on them?
She felt immense guilt in the final days. But it was not enough, I feel like. It was
Guilt or
all of a.
shame for being caught?
I'm not sure. She was complicated. I think that she had a stronger will than. It's hard.
Do vessels only apply to fey creatures?
Well, there are. We are but splinters of nature. If I understand my own origin well enough, and I tell you this now because your friend Atia will learn it soon enough anyway, and you have done me a great service. I do not divulge this information lightly. I am but a splinter of the domain nature, a domain that was shattered. But there are other domains, such as Void, supposedly the being that was summoned that created the Dark Old Plague, that are not shattered in such a way. Supposedly, a significant enough being, or a being of significant enough power, can take on the domain itself, becoming a god, if you will. If we Archfey are but a splinter of divinity, I suppose someone holding an entire domain would be a god themselves.
But that doesn't it. Can someone not of arboreal, of the Fae, become a splinter?
Oh, you misunderstand. Elves and their kind, they don't. Us Archfey don't come from them, they come from us. But the Splinter chooses the vessel, and it doesn't need to choose a specific bloodline. I believe the first elves were the direct descendants of vessels gifted the Splinters, but they themselves were not elves. And I wasn't an elf, although I refuse to say more. But there are many who have been more candid with their past selves. In fact, there is a Fey Lord who lives in this very city, who is likewise with myself on the Court of Winter. And he is, um, he takes pride in the fact that he was a half-elf before claiming power of the vessel. Although, he is rather cheeky with it, saying jokes about it being a past life.
Right. So,
I doubt any of you have been shown the signs. Like I said, you would know it if you had been shown them. I only tell you of this mostly for Atia's sake, since once you take on one of these splinters, you take on all of it. It may take some time for that power to awaken, and it seems right now, as far as Atia is concerned, that the power is being held back in some way. But when it fully does awaken, she will experience all of the memories of her splinter.
good to
The-
know.
The signs that you speak of, could you divulge more? Perhaps we could aid our friend in understanding what they might be to help guide them.
Atia will not receive the signs as she already is a splinter herself. The rest of you, like I said, if you were receiving the signs, you would know it.
And what are the signs?
It is unique for everyone.
You're like staying purposely vague.
So,
Vague.
visions, weird lightning powers out of nowhere. I'm imagining that sort of thing. Cough, cough.
Hey,
What?
that kind of sounds like you. I mean, at least with the weird lightning powers, I don't know about vision. That's all you, man. But like I know the first time we met, you went like all big stormy and like freed us from the prison thing. Though it happened a little too late because we already had those gems in our chest and all that other shit that we had to. But anyway,
I do
At
not
least we
try
didn't
to
get
be
tortured to death.
purposely vague. I want to explain this, my friend. I only mean to state that if you were experiencing the signs, you would know it.
and well, as you said, would any of these signs do with like weird visions and lightning power coming from a random person? Is there a lightning splinter?
If there has
Hey, Corinne, do me a favor.
Yeah,
Shut the fuck
yeah.
up.
Yes, perhaps
Okay, never mind. All right, I guess I'll just go over here then. Chris walks away into a corner.
we would, as Fathagn said, we would know if we knew they were happening. So
Right.
I promise
perhaps
that
foolish to assume if it were us.
I promise that I am being as forthright with you as I can.
Sure.
Of course.
Well, let's see. We covered the vessels, splinters. Does the name Nightweaver ring any bells to you? For any reason?
It was the name of the sword that the traveler MJ brought with him from another world. The one
Hmm.
upon which I based the cold iron weapons.
Oh, so that sword is the original thing that could kill Fae and things like that?
Correct.
Good to know! Good to know.
It is the weapon
Good to know.
that, well, it is, if we are to believe, or if the studies are to be believed, an incredibly dangerous weapon. There are stories about it corrupting people's minds, forcing them to kill their friends, and
Oh, okay. So you would say, like, on a scale of morality, it would probably be a little bit closer to, like, I'm not saying the word out loud, bad?
it's a sword. Its wielder is the
Well, you
one.
said it corrupted people, so that means that it has some sort of, like, I don't know.
I think
The
that
Aura?
it brings out the truth in people.
Mm-hmm.
You say that sword was the
I'm gonna be real mushy,
origin for the
real.
cold iron, is what you were saying, correct?
The original design, yes.
And it all came from a deathling named Imjim. Imajim? Imjim?
MJ.
MJ.
He came from another world, and I don't think to call him a dustling is fair. He was no Splinter, but he was something.
Like calling anyone a dustling is fair.
I apologize. I think that it is an unfair term. Mortal, I suppose, would be better.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, when you get as much knowledge as I have, there are places where people do live much, much longer. I know that your life may seem long, but there are those of us who have lived for thousands of years. It is a hard perspective to gain, but perhaps one day you will, with luck, know it yourself. Although it can
Thousands of
be.
years. I'm not gonna lie, that sounds fucking tiring. Like, Jesus Christ.
You see her.
Thousands of years just doing this job? Like, oh damn, I would want a break.
You see her smile at you, and you do see like tiredness in her eyes. Although she, it's like very faint. Is there anything else that you wish to ask me? I have given Belior a task, but the rest of you are under no obligation to me. Although, if there is a boon I could give you, perhaps, I would be happy to help you at any time.
Boon, you say.
What?
Three of the feet variety?
No.
Okay. Yeah. I does.
What assistance would you require for such a boon?
You have already assisted me, my friend.
Like, what's the limitations of said boon?
Um, I expect you to be reasonable to my hospitality.
I mean, I don't know if this is something you can do. This would probably be a little bit more magical or some shit, but see, I'm a goblin, but I didn't grow up with goblins, so I don't actually know how to speak goblin. I don't know if there's any like way you could help me learn how to speak goblin magically, or just like giving me a book or showing me like a thing to read goblin.
She nods, and then she taps your forehead. It is done.
Hold on, I gotta come up with some gibberish. Oh my god, what are you? I can speak Goblin! Holy shit! Fuck yes! Fuck you, Tapkin, you asshole!
And silence, your boon.
What's a spell or cantrip you could teach me? Or
Which spell do you desire to learn, my child?
I had not I had not thought this. Actually, he was gonna be like, "Fuck off, pleb." Like, um, uh, I tell her, but I tell you.
Once you figure it
And
out. Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. You can choose a cantrip. And a boon for you, Cheeks?
Would it be possible to get a very important book of the desiccated? Or is that too much to ask?
What the fuck is it?
What's a book of the desiccated? Is that a magic
It's the
item?
book. Is the book that I'm looking for.
Is it a magic
That
item?
it's no. It's a book that it's part of my quest. Remember, with the
Oh,
information that I seek.
right. Yes, my bad.
You're fine.
I am sorry, Cheeks. I don't have the power for that. But perhaps there is something else I could grant you.
I'll ask for a cantrip as well then, and then I'll tell you once I figure it out.
Alright, and Atia is passed out. Atia will have to figure out her boon later.
She's recording, so she'll listen to it, and I'll remind her tomorrow when she wakes up.
Pretty sure I know what Yip wants. Something shiny.
And Mushy, a boon for you. What do you want?
Can I get a holder for my sword?
A what?
Yes, a sheath.
Like,
She
Oh.
nods and perhaps show me your sword so that I can create the proper size for it.
No, I mean, it's just like your standard giant sword. There's no need to, yeah, don't do that. Shit. It's, yeah, just,
Do you want to
average
summon it?
giant sword size.
yeah, I'll pull it out.
Mushy's sword appears in her hand in a cloud of black smoke.
Son of a
Fathagn looks like
bitch.
really taken aback.
Well, here comes the killing part. All right, gotta strip my sleeves, make sure nobody dies here.
No
Tears all good
normal
over there.
sheath
All
will
right.
do for this. Perhaps she summons like a gigantic fucking sheath that is kind of silvery in color. Put this on the sword. It should stop the voices.
Oh damn. Okay, no, actually helping
I'll
us.
go ahead and do it.
No murder time. Okay, this is a first.
That was a good thing to ask for.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And finally, Yip, what boon would you ask of me?
Guys, I really wasn't expecting this, and I either want goggles of night vision or a fancy magic hat or something, and I don't know which one.
Yeah, I couldn't think of anything. I was not expecting it, so I was like, "Oh, spell. Spell sounds good."
You know, I don't think I'm gonna go I want like a fancy magic hat or something. I don't know.
Fancy magic hat. Alright, hold up. Let me.
I can only think of one, but it's like the same thing that my mask does.
I have
Hat of,
no idea.
it's like a hat of disguise. I think is what one of the only hat that I know of that's magically fancy.
I can literally cast
Off the
disguise
top of my
self. So yeah.
Yeah, well, this one's like without a spell, needing a spell slot basically all the time, without like just basically what
Oh,
my
that'd be
mask
fair.
does. Yeah, it's just a hat you wear that. I had to take a class to get this feature, you bastard. Both the warlocks and my class are looking at you like, I could have got an item for this shit.
Well, you know what? Like, I don't know what I'm gonna get. So
Yeah, that's
Alright. So she nods. She's like, a fancy hat indeed. She kind of like swashes her hands around in like a wide brimmed hat with a gigantic purple feather sticking out of it, and a nice red like band going around the bottom of it appears in there before her, and then she kind of does this and it levitates over to your head. So it is the headband of intellect, but it is it's a hat.
ooh.
So you get while you're attuned to it, you have intelligence score of 19.
oh shit, Yip isn't a dumbass.
Nice.
Too bad that you're a sorcerer cleric, and intelligence is in no way impacting your spell casting.
I mean, I'll take it.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
That literally goes from being my worst attribute to my best attribute.
time to multi-class with a wizard.
Nah, I already like kind of got my glasses worked out. I like know what I want to do. So
Yeah,
Yeah, none of the hats are very great. Other than that, would you rather have that or the helm of telepathy and get detect thoughts and
like,
suggestion?
I don't think that like works with Yip. I don't think that's his deal. So
the hat of vermin.
I.
You want a hat of rats?
Oh yeah, I was looking at helm. I need to look at hat. You're you're fucking smart, Mike. Oh,
The hat of
it still only
disguise,
has
hat
like
of
fucking.
mental.
Yeah, I
Hat
should
of
look at the
wizardry.
compendium instead of in my book, because then I can pull from all the books. Because I do want to give you something that works for your class. I know 19 int is cool, but not really if you don't use intelligence. I'd rather give you something that works for your kit.
Wait, are you telling me I could have got something to get my freaking charisma up to 19?
No.
Damn.
I was gonna give that to him like as it was the only thing that I could like see on the page that looked like even remotely like it's like, well, at least it's it's a mental stat so he can but I don't think it fits
helm.
Yep, well.
Helm of underwater action.
Does that let you like have a better swim speed or something?
Breathe underwater, swim speed, and dark vision. Damn.
Yeah, I'd give you that.
Damn.
Yeah.
So but okay, so this is the cool thing about it. She designs it specifically for you because Yip's got that drip, So she makes you the fancy hat, but like you as soon as you get in the water, a bubble appears around your head to protect it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so it has the added effect that your head can not get wet as long as you wear the hat. By normal or magical means.
Impossible to get wet.
Yes.
The perfect magic item for any cat character ever.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions of me?
Yeah, this one really has like nothing to do with anything that we're doing. It's just a weird question I kind of want to know. I know there's like a city of goblins like near here. Are they friendly or hostile? Like generally friendly people?
Yes, we trade with them regularly. They like
Cool,
people
cool, cool, cool,
here
cool.
more than the people of Edigan, who have treated them quite cruelly. As I'm sure
Oh,
you're
I
aware.
know that firsthand. Wait, how'd you know?
I deal with goblins regularly.
Right, right. Okay, yeah. Yep. Yeah. Guys, I know I'm retiring when this adventure is over.
You can now speak with them.
I know! I was like, if we ever like went anywhere near there, I was gonna be like, well, how am I gonna talk to them? I don't know the language. But now I do. Fuck you, professor, you asshole. Making me fucking learn Dwarvish. God, what a useless language.
So, by the way, if anybody didn't, like, if you feel like the boon that you got is not cool for you, just let me know, like, later on, and we can swap it for something else. We just gotta talk about it.
Cool beans.
Yep,
Cool.
I'm all good. I can speak Goblin. I can speak by myself.
Oh, and I'm sure you want to know, uh, exactly where Tarkoon and his order, the Crimson Hand, fit into everything. But I think that we'll have to wait for now. I think your friend Bellior will tell you all about it. Perhaps later. He looks a little bit distracted, but maybe he'll tell you in the form of a flashback.
Hmm.
That's the preferred method, then very well.
I was trying to figure out exactly what information to leave out because I wanted to like leave that important stuff for Bellior. So
Yeah, yeah.
That fair.
yeah, you guys have like 9 hours until you guys need to be at the hair appointment in the wine and cheese club thing.
Hmm.
So I know you guys want to take a long rest. Is there any last minute errands anyone needs to run? I don't think so because we already did shopping, so like I don't want to waste a ton of time on it. But I just want to offer
Yeah.
if anybody thought of something new that they need to grab.
Not really, but right before we go, I want to summon my parents, a zombie and a skeleton, but leave them outside of the shop where you're gonna be.
All right.
Hmm. Okie dokie.
That's not disarming.
Yeah, people aren't just gonna walk by that shop and be like, what the fuck?
Like they're gonna
There's
see
people of all kinds here, and I dress them really nicely.
So as you
and
guys,
just there's nothing wrong with that.
as you guys arrive, so yeah, you guys gonna are you sorry? You guys long rested then? Yeah. So
Yep.
as you guys arrive at the shop and you know you get your parents summoned, um, as you knock on the door because it's locked, um, Grinhilda opens the door and like she like begins to beckon you in and then she sees your parents and she's like, ah, well, you're not bringing them.
No, they're staying outside.
I would prefer that they. I.
Out?
she like looks around and she's like, okay, quickly then she beckons for you to bring them in. She doesn't want them to be seen outside of the
Okay.
shop.
Okay.
I suppose.
Then they're going in the closet.
Yeah, I was gonna say I suppose they can sit in the closet until we get back.
Wait, why aren't you bringing them with us?
Because
Like, what happens if this goes like? Well, I mean, them not them like as they are now, but as they're like skull forms that you can easily pocket.
It's not good form.
It takes me
by
10 minutes.
Master Grin.
It takes me 10 minutes to get them
Oh.
out.
Pretty sure it'll take longer than that for them to probably get to wherever the place we are going is. Or are we doing the haircut thing here?
There.
no,
I
you
believe
guys are
we're
going to his manor.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Like, we're going to his manor. Like, we're not going to be anywhere near this shop.
I would prefer that you're not carrying around a bag of bones while we're going in to meet one of my clients.
You can't even tell us a bag of bones.
Oh,
Yeah, it could just be a bag of dice.
I can smell the one. She points to the zombie.
I dispel it. Put them back in my pocket. Then.
Oh, I was about to hit him with a prestidigitation to make him smell like lavender.
Oh, never mind. Then you do that.
Yeah,
I don't think you can
like,
do that to a whole zombie.
So I'd say it needs like 1 foot at a time,
And
and
also
it's
needs to be like clothing. It can't be like like a creature.
so it would
I
smell
mean,
like a rotting corpse and lavender.
Yeah. I'm
the
just gonna.
smell thing is
Lovely
just
smell.
because that's like cleaning something has to be 1 square foot. The smell thing is just I can just make that happen.
Okay, yeah.
I
So
just
you
make a
spray
smell.
you spray some Febreze.
I'm Febrezing the
Granny
shit out of
Sounds
this
like-
guy.
Granny sneers. She's like, "You're not bringing that to the meeting. Not if you want to get in."
Jesus fucking Christ.
What if they
I don't
stay
know why I have to explain to
outside?
you guys okay, but like that's fine.
It's a fancy gathering and like
She's telling
hair
you-
trimming.
Never
She's
said I
telling
was
me-
gonna bring it.
So she's telling you that it's fine if you bring them into her shop. She'd rather have them in her shop than out on the street. But once you guys get all ready and leave for the meeting, they're not coming, is what she's trying to tell you.
Fucking hell.
Pouty face.
Why can't I summon
realize
the
that. I'm just trying to
undead?
make them smell better to make them smell better. I'm not trying to have them come along. I just was doing it just to have them smell better.
Right. Put the fucking zombies away and let's get ready. We have an appointment to meet, and you all came pretty late.
Is there anything I should try to reverse myself with certain topics of Edgin history that he might be more inclined to ask about?
Or just smile and nod at him and pretend everything he says is really smart or funny or both.
Just like back when I was in War Magi College, absolutely.
That goes for the rest of you too. He's a little bit vain and he really likes it when you stroke his ego. So if he asks you to go into the other room and look at a little bust of a man who's just like half a man, you go into the other room and you look at that bust. You don't complain and you tell him it looks beautiful.
Fine.
Is it actually beautiful? Like, are the busts actually beautiful? Obviously, you've seen them.
I'm not an art buff.
Regardless, just use words such as
What is Casey? Why? What is that?
we're stroking the ego.
Oh my god, that's horrendous.
That little chubby guy's Frin or Thunden.
I'm gonna have nightmares tonight.
But silence. I just use words like it's enthralling, captivating. Words cannot describe.
Oh,
if
I
he
see
ever
you've done this
asks,
before.
it's not my first time.
Let's see, and then, it'd probably be best, she points towards you, she kind of like looks at you, yep, if you just pretend to be just, maybe not pretend, I don't know you too well, just pretend to be poorly educated a bit, maybe don't even talk. You could be a mute.
I can do that.
Is he my servant or someone else's
You're-
servant?
yeah,
I'm just
Yes.
gonna be
yours.
in the background.
No,
Nope. So he's your servant. Is how this will work best because the people of Torum lately have been fuckers, and most of them have slaves or servants or the like. So
Wait, what?
I will
Was that a thing when I was there? Well, I mean,
regard
obviously, yeah, I was technically a slave, wasn't I? Holy fuck.
yeah, and
regardless
in public you were his like master servant. So
Yep. You don't have to do this.
regardless, Master Yep, I'll make sure to
Is there a pub in
You're
town?
treated
I'll
with-
just go get drunk during this.
But what if we need something blown up? You're like the best at that. Literally the best I know
also,
at
Well,
blowing things up.
you didn't tell me that you were gonna have another person, although I should have assumed that Belior would be here. Belior, you will fit in as another one of my bodyguards. Actually, you will be the professor here's bodyguard.
silence is who's the professor.
Oh god, he's not here, is he?
She just gestures
Right,
towards silence.
Right. Right. Sorry, my apologies, of course.
Well, if
Right, well-
everyone's ready, should we get going?
Right, hold on. If we're going to a fancy party, I gotta get fancy. And I snap my fingers, and he looks like a very, like, super stereotypical, like, gay barber. High cheekbones,
Love it.
really well trimmed hair. It's gonna be like, oh, this is just gonna be all lovely guys. Like, totally.
Can you make the hair blue? It'll be more on brand.
Oh, certainly. Snap my fingers, it's blue. And he looks like an actual, like, normal goblin, but, like, super fancied up. He's even got, like, some makeup and shit. He's styling. Alright, ready.
Sorry, I was in the bathroom. Okay, so... yeah, so you guys head out. Grinhild leads you through the streets of the city of Werberton. It's still dark, although you can see distant on the horizon the glow of the sun. Probably still a couple of days off till actual daytime. But you guys plod along through the grassy streets. The drizzle of rain still creating the occasional puddle, but for the most part it's cleared up. Grinhild leads you guys towards a large manor that you can see like situated at the top of a hill. As she's walking along, you guys can see that the architecture has changed a little bit, revealing quite a bit of like winter fae stuff. This here is the winter quarter. A lot of winter fae living here, so I'd avoid speaking of Queen Sabril or anything like that.
Not a problem.
But let's head up, and we'll meet with the Lord of the Morning Frost. He's honestly a pretty nice guy, so we'll just have a nice evening, and then we'll head home with the hair for you to do with as you please. Yep. Or not yep, sorry, Kryn. So as you guys continue along, you guys arrive at like a big fucking gate. There is like massive iron bars that form this gate, and a couple of drow or dark elf guards that are standing kind of watching as you guys approach. Oi, good to see you, Grinhild. So you got some new apprentices. Oi, that's right. So got an appointment with the master, so we'll just head right on in if that's all right. Hold it. I don't know this chap here. He doesn't look like one of your apprentices. Oh, he's one of those professors. History buff and all that. Aren't you, Professor?
Thanos is going to put on his best, like, gall face as to not be recognized as a professor. You know, yes, I'm a professor with the colleges of Torum and the War Magi.
Uh,
And, like, kind of point to his regalia as, like, proof
the
enough.
guard barely seems to be paying attention. Alright, well, have a good time. Try not to get the master too drunk. You know, we always have to clean up the mess. Huh?
Drunk. Well, there's alcohol here. This
The
is not part of the agreement.
the gates open up, and you guys head inside, finding yourselves like walking onto like a big courtyard, past the gates. It's kind of walled in. You can see that there's actually quite a few guards trudging around. There's, you know, just as you're like walking, there was like 2 right at the gate, and then you see a few more patrols, like 3 more patrol by, and you can see like that. So the manor itself is like at least 3 stories tall. You can see that like on balconies up above there are guards patrolling, and like mounted ballistas, and like this place is actually pretty well fortified for just a manor. Don't worry about the security. The this city is quite busy, especially with people coming over from the rift. So they, you know, the Lord just likes to protect his museum, he likes to call it. As you guys draw closer to the manor, which is kind of like a beacon of light in the darkness here, you can just see this warm light kind of pouring out from it. A figure strides out. He has very pale skin, kind of spiked up, frosty blue hair, and he has, otherwise though, he's quite portly. And he's got like a long flowing robe that seems to be made of snow that looks like it's almost constantly cracking and then falling away and then reforming and then cracking. Oh, Grinhild, it's good to see you. His beard, which kind of looks like almost like icicles growing off of his face, kind of like bristles as he strides forward towards her, and as he walks across the grass, you can see frost forming along the path that he's walking. As he strides over and then kneels down and gives Grimhild a big hug. I see you've brought company. New apprentices, I take it, and bodyguards. And who's this chap? Do I recognize? Ah, professor from... No, not a professor. You have student regalia. Interesting, interesting. I always like meeting a fellow enjoyer of the learning arts, so to speak. Grinhild is like looking at you like.
Silas is just gonna bow and just be like,
Just roll with it.
aspiring professor.
And who is the young chap here? Kobold, a blue scale.
Vraco Gorvos.
Oh, I don't. Is that Kobold?
Silence. Just gonna be. That is my assistant.
I see. Very good at math, I assume.
Indeed, as well as carrying out other tasks to aid me.
You know, some of the brightest minds are not very coherent when we speak to them. Good day, man. I'm very pleased to meet you, and I'm sorry that we can't communicate well, but you are very welcome in my house. Well then, I have been looking forward to having everything cleaned up. Shall we come inside?
I just look to Grimhild, who is the one in charge.
She's like, of course, my friend. And you guys all start heading inside.
Right.
So Grinhild and Mr. Frost dude kind of take the lead and begin walking up, kind of chatting with each other, just talking about like very mundane stuff. As you guys enter this gigantic manor. So you guys enter first by ascending a like little entry stairway that goes up onto a deck before walking into a nice front door into a beautiful foyer complete with like a statue of a uh, armored knight wielding a sword. And behind it, a staircase that goes upwards. But you guys actually just kind of go around the staircase. Instead, heading to the right, into a sort of what seems to be like a little sitting room. There's a couple of couches, a couple of tables, fireplace, which is lit and crackling away with a nice fire. It's pretty nice. Plenty of space. The Archfey kind of gestures for you guys to all take a seat. And then, we should get this done. The rest of you, if you won't mind waiting, I'll have some refreshments brought in for you. We'll be just in the next room. Grilhild nods, and she kind of gestures for Cheeks and Kryn to follow her.
Okie dokes.
So you guys follow as the Lord of Morning Frost leads you guys into the adjacent room, which he has a kind of mirror and like a little barber area set up. And he begins to have his hair trimmed. He's just kind of gabbing away with Grinhild as this is going on. And you, my good man, you appear to be Grinhild's new apprentice.
God, trying to come up with a very fast accent. Yes, most certainly.
Ah, and where are you from? Are you from Nocturne, perhaps?
I've got some family there, but no, I spent a large portion of my time on the other side of the gate.
Ah, a good man from Edigan. We'll have to talk more about that. I always like hearing refugee stories. I always say people from your land are the real spirit of all worlds.
Definitely a spirit.
So there is, it's actually a pretty short appointment. It seems like he mostly just likes Grinhild's company, so he invited her over to chat because like his hair is pretty short and his beard is like as soon as she like gets out the razor, it just kind of like falls off like icicles, it's falling off of his face. But you guys, clean it up pretty easily, and overall everything goes pretty nicely. At which points, he leads you guys back to the room with your friends.
Cheeks, did you get it? Cheeks, did you get the locker hair?
Cheeks has a whole box of the dude's hair.
Literally.
Okay, we're good.
As you guys come in back into the main room, you can see that a butler had dropped off refreshments, coffees and teas, and various fruits and you know, pastries and stuff for the rest of the people. Ah, I hope that you haven't spoiled your appetite too much. I've had a feast made up for us.
Yes. Okay.
It seems
I
we
mean,
have
I'm
some
always good to go.
very interesting guests, and honestly, I'd like you to indulge me in having you over. I don't get enough company.
Yeah. So, sounds quite lovely.
And you will need to tell me more about your famed city. I hear that it actually can move.
Is he speaking to Silence?
Yes.
Okay, I have a quick question about War Mage stuff. Because he has graduated from the War Mage stuff. Is graduating from a War Mage house considered a bachelor's level achievement, master's, or doctrinal level
He
achievement?
needs to know.
Because if it's a master's or doctrinal level achievement, then, like, for example, when I graduated from law schools, the robes that I had are the exact same as my professors, so I would be in the exact same
So
regalia
I would
as
say
them.
that you essentially have a GED.
Ooh.
Wow. Not only
You're like,
Fair.
all right,
failed, you
so
had to go
you're like,
back.
I want to point out that that was not on my list of options.
Point of personal privilege, though. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so he's asking about the
No, especially so
Torum City move.
your House of Knights, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So like, you know, if anything,
The
you probably would
jocks.
have like,
Yeah, exactly. Like you got a bachelor's in
you got
history, like
physical
health
education.
history.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
So he leads you guys kind of down the hall, around a corner to a nice banquet hall, a nice little room with a big table set out. And you can already see that there is like a big turkey that is steaming at the center of the table, and then there's all sorts of, you know, there's like potatoes and sweet potatoes and carrots and, you know, like salad and grapes and, you know, like all sorts of you know, like awesome uh, parts of this meal that smell great. He sits down and he gestures for you guys to do the same.
Silence will get a full plate, and then at the same time be like, "I'm more than happy to entertain any questions you happen to have about the great city of Torum."
Of course. So, um, is it true that your people have gone to war?
Well, I don't know if you could call it war per se, though it's an incursion, perhaps, if you would. Not a declaration against independent sovereignties, but more or less trying to maintain the peace among some of the more enabled provinces incapable of doing such.
It sounds like a very straightforward way of thinking of things, although I know many people prefer their freedom as opposed to stability, even. But still, I'm not really. I just hope not too many people get hurt.
To
Politics
be
is
perfectly
probably
honest,
not my strong suit.
I agree. I try to keep politics out of it. That's more of the political answer that I've been fed more than what I'm aware of what's actually going on.
Now, the true question about the war is, I've heard that in recent months, Torum has begun a sort of heavy occupation, some sort of operation at the heart of Teldaria Steppes. Is this something that you could confirm? I am quite interested in it.
Occupation at Teldaria Steppes. As much as I'd love to provide you some insight onto that, I wasn't necessarily near Teldaria recently before this all occurred. I'm sorry, I'm looking through. I was trying to figure out exactly where we were before. Kavkar?
Yeah.
No.
Teldaria is the kind of whole nation that you guys were in.
Yeah, the steps
Yeah,
were
yeah.
like
The steps you guys
Steps
It's
crossed
like
over.
that's where
the
the
northeast-ish,
Thundins
the tribal
yeah,
nations
yeah.
are. Yep.
where we first met, basically. I think somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll just be like the last of my knowledge, I knew we were near Kavkar, though perhaps it just would make sense we were probably near Teldaria, but I believe our sights are more further set on Kavkar.
So, tell me, my friend, he's, you guys start talking about, history and stuff, for a while. Um, but you guys all, so he is drinking wine, and there's also just like bottles of wine on the table, as much as you guys want to drink. But he's getting pretty drunk, and he's gonna start talking to, Grinhild. Um, yeah, so he's really fucking drunk. He looks like wasted, but he's talking to her about, how business is in town, and then he starts talking about like, different art stuff that he's found. Are you guys talking to each other, or are you guys just listening to him as he goes on and on?
Oh, I'd be listening to him.
Say,
Bryn is gonna pretend that he's listening, but he is going to spend the entire time carefully keeping an eye on their surroundings as he is waiting for the other foot to drop and just waiting for everything to hit the fan. Just waiting for that bad moment.
Oh, my friends, silence. Did you, did you ever take any art studies while you were in Torum's universities?
It's funny that you ask. I never really studied much of it collegiately. However, my grandmother was in my opinion, a master artist. She created and painted beautiful landscapes that just captivated and enthralled me my whole life.
Did she share these with anybody? I would have loved to see one. Do you have one with you, perhaps?
Yes, I just
I don't
carry
think
this
he
giant painting
does.
on my person.
Goes, unfortunately, I don't have any on me, but he's gonna look through his.
The bottle's empty. He's trying to pour it and just like knocks over the bottle as it kind of like clinks over to the floor. We will have to grab another one. Silence, I do have a very wonderful painting to show you, and it's actually right above the desk in my study, which is right next to the wine cellar. Let's go.
Be my pleasure. He's going to go and also try to not like force it, but like kind of make it known that he's offering stability for him as he wants.
At
like
first, the archface stands up and like tries to like push you off, but as he stands up, he like almost slumps over, so then he does end up taking your arm. And then two of you begin to walk out of the banquet room towards the wine cellar.
I'm just gonna slowly walk next to Grin Hill and be like, so, how long do we have to deal with this?
Just a couple of more hours. I mean, the food's good.
It doesn't really make it worth it. Not gonna lie.
Silence. Join me in whisper chat.
Oh, shit. Here comes the other foot.
Yeah.
Second. Okay. Silence.
Yeah.
You and the Lord of Winterfrost, or Morningfrost, you guys have made it to his study, which is actually just right next to the banquet hall where you guys were eating. And you can see there's a staircase that descends right down to the wine cellar, you can only assume. The Lord of Morningfrost is kind of talking your ear off about the painting that's above his desk, which, to be honest, it's you know, it's okay, but it's a little bit boring. But he does tell you the history of it. That it's a few hundred years old, and that it was done by like a master painter from the Fey Winter Courts, and all this such and such. But he's really drunk, so the entire story is kind of hard to follow, and he keeps having to stop and like slump over and stuff. But then eventually he kind of begins to stumble down the stairs towards the wine cellar. For a second, you feel like you see something out of the corner of your eye.
Silence is gonna immediately be on edge and like kind of ready to draw his mystical weapon, but not have it drawn yet. Like his fingers are like, yeah.
So, as you get to the bottom of the stairs, you can see that the Fey Lord is kind of rummaging through a rack that's full of wine bottles. Let's find a good vintage. We need something. This is, he holds it up. No, not that one. Kind of going to the next one. Now, have you ever drank any Iberian wine? Oh, yeah, it's very good. Paladin from the very south,
yeah.
so.
Hey, Iberian. No, I've heard tales of its subtle hints, but no, never had any of myself.
As you're, he comes up to you and he hands you the bottle. Perhaps you would do the honors. Uncork it, give it a good breath, and a whiff. He's very
My
drunk.
pleasure. My pleasure. And
he claps you on the shoulder. He's like, "You're a good man. You're gonna be a good professor. I can already tell."
Oh, thank you, sir. And then, as he's saying that, he's gonna try to pop it with something in his tool belt. I'm sure he's gotta have like a wine bottle.
You definitely got something. So you kind of rummage through your bag and begin to pop it. As you look up, right as you're popping it, the wine bottle pops, and you can see over the Fey Lord's shoulder, Nearest, coming out of the darkness, striding towards him. I told you, I would make them hate you. I would make you lose everyone else. Silence. The Fey Lord is not responding. He's just like looking at you. Well, what do you think?
It's
Neris raises his hand, and your cold iron sword forms in his palm. He strides closer to the Fey Lord. Well, go on, take a... Neris stabs forward and plunges it through the gut of the Fey Lord. You hear him shriek, and then his body just disintegrates into ash, and you feel just like a chill go over you. I told you, Silence. They'll never believe you. Neris drops the sword and, before you can move, just disappears. Go ahead and join me back in general chat.
Motherfucker! Jesus!
Mm.
So, something like 10 minutes has gone by since Silence and the Fey Lord left. You guys are, probably... I don't know what you guys are doing, actually. What are you guys doing? It's been about 10 minutes.
I assume probably getting through that thing of hair, tying up a lock of hair, and making sure that we have a well stored and not losing it. They've been gone a while.
This is nothing to be worried about. He once spoke to one of my assistants for 45 minutes about a statue. Just be lucky he didn't pull you out.
Yeah, I'm just gonna double check it. I'm gonna do that whole thing I do where I keep randomly pointing in the direction and using message just to be like, Silence, you okay, buddy? How annoying is he?
As you start that, so the first direction you pick, what direction do you pick?
Well, it said it was a wine cellar.
Yeah.
That was next to his office, so I'm assuming somewhere down. So I'm pointing in the direction of the wine cellar down, kind of like basically just in the general direction of where I would think the wine cellar would be, in a downward sloping direction.
So the first time, you send out your message, you don't get anything back. You turn to do it the second time, when suddenly you guys hear a incredibly loud shriek that just reverberates through the halls of this mansion.
Oh, there it is! There's the other
stands up.
foot!
What the fuck?
There it is! Here comes the slaughter. Okay, something's about to happen. Oh, god damn it. I run out to the hallway. Did it come in from the direction of the cellar?
Yes. You guys can see that there's
Son of a bitch!
kind of following the sound, there is like a staircase that leads downwards into the cellar.
Okay, I'm gonna run to the cellar. First off, cast invisibility on myself, and then run down the cellar steps.
You can see there are other people running down those steps too. Like there are definitely people coming to investigate. There's a few guards that are coming in to investigate the scream.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't cast invisibility then. If there are a lot of people around, I will not do that.
As you guys begin to get to the bottom of the stairs, you can start to see what's going on. As I'm assuming that everybody ran right out as soon as the scream happened, right? I'll just go ahead and assume yes.
Yeah.
As you guys reach the bottom of the stairs, a little bit before any of the guards or the others arrive, you can see that there is a body, or rather the lack of a body, the shape of a body formed of ash on the ground. And next to it is a sword that is just laying there. A distinctive sword you recognize as Silence's cold iron sword. And Silence, what are you doing?
He's backing away from the body and trembling and shaking, and it's like, this isn't real, this isn't real, this isn't real.
Oh my god! What have you done? You've killed him! And that's where we're gonna end it tonight.
What the fuck?
Well, guys, we're gonna have to murder our way out of a mansion. We can never come back to this town.
The fuck did you do, Casey?